Right now at noon, a teenage girl is hurt after a stabbing in Madison. What police are saying about the investigation. Plus, the Senate looks to hold another round of votes to end the government shutdown. How the president is questioning back pay to some furloughed workers. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Brighter. Breaking news in Sun Prairie at this hour, where some evacuations are underway over a gas leak. According to Sun Prairie Police, first responders are evacuating around West Main Street and Walker Way. They're asking everyone to stay away from the area until an all clear is sent out. Traffic on West Main in this area is also shut down. We will be updating the story on News 3 Now and channel3000.com when new information comes in. Now to a scare in the Middleton School District this morning. Police got an anonymous tip about someone with a weapon in the high school parking lot, but that turned out to be a hoax. Armand Rahman is live with what police have learned and where that false report came from. Armand?
That's right, Josh, and it's definitely not what you would expect. Police say that hoax call actually originated from outside of the country. So as a precaution, all schools in the city of Middleton were placed in a secure protocol starting at about 9:30 this. That was all the schools that you see on your screen. Park Elementary, Pope Elementary, West Middleton Elementary, Sunset Ridge, and Glacier Creek Middle Schools were not a part of that secure hold, though. Middleton Police explained that a secure hold is a safety action where they just require extra caution. Students not allowed to leave the classroom or leave the building. And learning normal activities, though, still continue inside. It was not a lockdown, however. Again, that only lasted about 10 minutes as police were able to determine that the hoax call originated from not even in the United States of America. I reached out to them for more comment, as well as the Middleton School District. If they respond, here's what they have to say later on News 3 Now. For now, reporting live in the city of Middleton, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. Right now, Madison police are searching for people involved in a late-night stabbing that left a 17-year-old girl with injuries. Police say she suffered non-life-threatening injuries, including to the face, and was just released from the hospital. Initial investigations show the fight involved people who knew each other. The stabbing happened on Windzone Drive near Door Creek Park on the city's east side. No arrests have been made. Madison police are also working to track down a person of interest after what they're calling a targeted shooting on the city's east side. Police say the shooting left one person injured. It happened just after 3 yesterday afternoon at Trafalgar Place and Kurt Drive between I-90-94 and Hystad Park. Our video from the scene shows a car being towed away full of bullet holes. Other cars at the intersection are damaged. Police say the people knew each other but have not named a suspect. We'll send updates to this story on channel3000.com as we learn more. Sun Prairie police are searching for a suspect after a shooting left one person injured there. Investigators say evidence suggests two people in separate vehicles exchanged gunfire before driving off. Police say it happened in the area of Sunfield Street and Suncourt just before 1 yesterday morning. That's behind the Culvers on Main Street. One person went to the hospital with a gunshot wound. They were treated and released. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Sun Prairie Police. A 13 and 15-year-old in South Beloit have been arrested after driving a stolen vehicle from Beloit. South Beloit police officers were notified about the stolen vehicle just before 9:30 Monday night. Police spotted the vehicle and attempted a traffic stop. The two teens, who were wearing black masks, allegedly ran from the vehicle but were arrested. The 15-year-old faces tentative charges, while the 13-year-old was released to a parent pending charges. Right now, the family of the student injured in the Abundant Life Christian School shooting has launched a GoFundMe to help with his recovery. Samuel Garduno Martinez was shot multiple times, including in the head, arm, and back. He developed encephalitis, a serious inflammation of the brain, and was placed in a coma during recovery. He remains in intensive care, requiring 24-hour support. His next step will be specialized rehabilitation near Chicago, accompanied by his family. The GoFundMe has a $140,000 goal. You can find a link to that under this story on channel3000.com. Let's get a first check of your first warn forecast now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey Josh, temperatures still very fall-like out there, and I think these are the coldest temperatures I've shown on the noon show so far this year in terms of the current temperatures, mostly in the 50s out there. But this morning it certainly was a lot cooler. And taking a look at some of the low temperatures, how about 27 up north in Camp Douglas, 31 in the Dells, 38 in Madison. A lot of areas saw their coldest temperature of the season so far. Now it's going to be cold again tonight, but not quite this cold, but we still could see some minor frost out there. Now this afternoon, we're going to continue to see plenty of sunshine, but high temperatures will be a few degrees cooler compared to yesterday. Highs will only be around 60, so it's going to continue to be very fall-like throughout the day and into the overnight hours, where temperatures are expected to potentially drop back into the 30s. Now, there aren't any frost advisories in effect for our area right now, but some frost could still be possible. Now, once we get to the day tomorrow, it will get better by the afternoon, and temperatures in general tomorrow will be a little bit warmer than today, but still remaining pretty fall-like. And I'll continue talking about the temperatures for the upcoming weekend and show you our rain chances all coming up a bit later.
Yeah, I needed the hat this morning for the first time. It was chilly.
Yeah, it was certainly a cold morning around here.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Madison's new budget plan would increase property taxes by an average of $30 a year. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway says that is the smallest increase in 40 years. The operating budget totals just over $450 million. It asks agencies to make a 0.75% cut in spending. It addresses critical staffing needs for the fire department, which currently has ambulances at 9 of its 14 stations. The proposal adds a 10th ambulance and 9 new paramedics to handle an increasing number of calls.
We had over 200 instances last year where we absolutely ran out of every last ambulance in the city. And what that means for our staff is that they are going on calls literally back to back all day long.
Madison Fire Department's calls for service have doubled since 2005 as the city adds close to 5,000 new people every year. The budget increases city spending by about 5%. It includes a 3% raise for city workers. There's a full breakdown on channel3000.com. That budget plan now goes through committee and then the city council, where a final vote is expected in January. The Senate's back in session today, voting again to end the federal government shutdown. With air traffic controllers unpaid, some airports are seeing delays, and President Trump is questioning back pay for furloughed workers. Here's Jared Hill.
The gridlock in Washington is leading to frustration for flyers at airports across the country.
It's just ludicrous that we are dealing with stuff like this. This should never be happening.
Major airports in Nashville and Denver were among those seeing significant delays Tuesday, fueled by sick calls among air traffic controllers being asked to work without pay.
You can only commend those folks that continue to do their job.
They have no other way to show that it's hurting not just them, but us.
Nick Daniels is the president of the Air Traffic Controllers Union.
There is no concerted effort for air traffic controllers to go in and somehow impede this system. But what it shouldn't be is waiting to see how long air traffic controllers can last.
In the Oval Office yesterday, President Trump seemed to suggest that some of the 700,000 furloughed federal workers might not receive back pay once the shutdown is over.
There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
The president himself signed a law after the last shutdown in 2019, guaranteeing retroactive pay for workers affected by a funding lapse.
Ultimately, the costs will be higher if there are these mass firings or if pay is denied, because people have rights. They will sue for damages.
This shutdown is nothing more than political cover for Chuck Schumer and the Democrats.
If the shutdown stretches past this week, over 1 million active duty troops won't receive their October 15th paychecks, despite having to report for duty. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The National WIC Association says the food program could also run out of money within the next week or two. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, why some batches of frozen spinach are being recalled. Plus, why Salesforce is taking a hard stand, refusing to negotiate or pay after a reported cyber threat. For the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Oh, what a gorgeous day, Josh. Yeah, I think the building here at the old radio barn is probably going to be empty by 4 o'clock this afternoon. But what a great day if you have to be down at Wrigley Field. Not a bad day to be out and about. I'll tell you, last week at World Dairy Expo, it was fun to unveil a brand new Born to Dairy campaign. Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin trying to bring everybody into the dairy fold with a little bit of a humorous twist. They're working with our own Charlie Barron's Wisconsin favorite, Manitowoc Minute origin, and they created kind of trading cards, collector cards, if you will, that highlight some of our Wisconsin dairy operators. Now, there's a couple different ones. Today, I want to focus in on two of them. First one is the one they call the Baller. Now, this is a dairy farmer from up in northeast Wisconsin, Pulaski to be exact. Jeff Bentley is his name. He's a member of the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin board. And what they're trying to emphasize is that every dairy farmer in Wisconsin is a little bit different. And whether you're involved in agriculture or not, you can probably identify with some of the qualities. Jeff, for example, test drives his tractors like a lot of people test drive their race cars, only his 0 to 60 measurement is in acres, not miles per hour. So Jeff Bentley, one of the people highlighted on this Born to Dairy campaign. The other one, you might recognize her face. She, of course, is our Alice in Dairyland, Sarah Hagnow. Sarah has been involved in the dairy industry her whole life, and she wants to highlight the room that's been made for Gen Zers. She said they have a little different look at the dairy industry. They tend to carry their jug of water or what have you always with them. They've always got their cell phone. They're always online and loving the dairy industry. Now, those are just two of a few of the people that are highlighted as examples of how diverse Wisconsin's dairy industry is and giving you a little idea of how you might actually be just like a Wisconsin dairy farmer. I'll give more details on that tomorrow, and you can always find more at wisconsindairy.org. In fact, the Born to Dairy campaign's got merchandise available if you want to find something early for maybe a holiday gift for somebody. So today, as far as the dairy markets are concerned in Chicago, a little bit mixed. Our barrel cheese remains unchanged in Chicago, $1.74. 40-pound block cheese is up 1/4 cent, $1.73 3/4, while double A butter drops another penny and 3/4, $1.65 a pound. I'm going to take advantage of this gorgeous weather. Headed out to do a little bit of a Christmas tree story in the Belleville area this afternoon, Joshy, and then hopefully have it wrapped up so I can see how the brew crew perform down in the Windy City like a lot of other Wisconsinites this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a big day, but boy, that weather is just fantastic. This is what I want to bottle up and just save for like January or February, am I right?
I know, for sure. Bottle it up.
All right, Pam, thank you. Let's get to that certified most accurate forecast now. Here's First Floor meteorologist Jacob Montesano. It is a picture-perfect day out there.
Yeah, especially if you like those fall-like conditions. Plenty of sunshine. Highs are only going to be at near 60. And in general, we're going to continue to see fall-like temperatures. They'll warm up a little bit, but the high temperatures over the next 10 days won't be any warmer than the lower 70s. Now, we also are going to see another very chilly night with lows in the 30s again. Not quite as cool as last night, but still pretty chilly nonetheless. And in general, not really going to see much rain. We're looking very dry through the weekend with a few other rain chances for next week, but not going to see a whole lot. Now, before I talk about the forecast, I do want to talk a little bit about the fall colors and specifically what is the ideal conditions to make the fall colors change and to have a very high intensity of fall colors. Now, this actually starts all the way back in the spring. If we have a wet growing season, that could help the fall colors, and then a dry and quiet fall. And as far as temperatures, generally cooler, but not necessarily to the level we saw last night. So not necessarily seeing frosty conditions, but overall, this year has had a lot of these conditions. The growing season in the spring, pretty close to normal, and this fall has been warmer and drier. So the result will likely be a delay in the fall colors because of the warmer weather, but I do expect to see a medium to high intensity of the fall colors when they do peak because of the kind of average precipitation in the spring and pretty dry weather here this fall. So that is the good news. And when I say a delay in the fall colors, here's a look at when they normally peak. We're likely going to see it kind of at the very end of October to early November. So right now it looks like kind of right around Halloween might be near that peak, if not possibly a little bit later. Now, looking at the forecast this afternoon, highs are going to be near 60. We'll see plenty of sunshine, though, so when the sun is shining, it will feel a bit warmer. But as I mentioned, going to be another cool night, lows dropping into the 30s. Could see some areas drop back to near freezing, but it will be ever so slightly warmer for those northern counties. Still very similar to what we saw last night for Madison and areas to the south. We don't have a frost advisory, but we still could see some frost out there. And then for tomorrow, we're expecting high temperatures a little bit warmer with middle 60s in the forecast and more sunshine. In general, again, not really going to see much rain. Small chance of rain Thursday night into Friday morning. Then we're looking dry through the weekend with the chance of rain increasing for Sunday night and Monday of next week. And we'll see a few other rain chances next week. But looking at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, we're not going to see anything too dramatic. Maybe a little bit of above average precipitation off to the west. Now, fast forwarding towards the weekend, as we look at the Badger football game forecast, looking pretty good, especially good football weather. Might need to bring a light jacket as the game does start at 6 p.m. We'll see upper 60s to start the game, then lower 60s, dropping into the 50s by the end of the game. But we're not expecting any precipitation, and as long as you bring a light jacket, you shouldn't feel too cool. Now, for the Packers game, it will be a little bit warmer as the game will be in the afternoon. Clouds are expected to increase in Green Bay for Sunday, and there is a very small chance of some light showers towards the end of the game, but nothing should be too significant during that time. So in general, two very good football forecasts are expected this weekend, as those temperatures will warm up a little bit for Sunday and Monday, kind of in that lower 70 range, but then going to be really consistent for next week. A lot of highs near 70, and then by the end of the 10-day forecast, they may drop a little bit. So although the temperatures are going to fluctuate a little bit, we're not going to see anything nearly as warm as last weekend, and it may be official that the 80s could be behind us. Now, I can't say that for sure, but there's no sign that those temperatures are going to warm up to that level anytime soon.
We shall see. All right, Jacob, thank you. Homecoming week continues today for UW students and alumni. Tonight, PBS Wisconsin is hosting a free screening of Bucky. It's a new documentary celebrating the university's famed mascot. Attendees will get a sneak peek at an unreleased version of the film, set to premiere December 2nd. The screening takes place tonight at the Marquee Cinema at 7. Then the Fill the Hill fundraiser kicks off tomorrow at 5 p.m. Meteorologist Savannah Brito and I will be there live Friday morning on News 3 Now with the latest updates from there. Tonight, the Brewers have a chance to close out their series against the Cubs. Milwaukee leads 2-0 in the best-of-5 matchup. First pitch is set for this afternoon at 4:08. You can catch the highlights and a full recap on News 3 Now at 10. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, we're showing you how to fight off those midweek dinner blues with a meal that's easy, exciting, and irresistible. So don't touch that hump. It's a simple recipe that's just as fitting for lunch as it is teamed up with a salad for dinner. Let me tell you, it's perfect on those nights when all you want to do is curl up on the couch with a movie. I'm talking about a loaded pizza-style garlic bread that's nothing short of, well, let's just say amazing. We start by combining some olive oil, fresh minced garlic, and a little salt and pepper. This gets brushed over the cut side of a crusty Italian bread. Make sure you slather this generously. It's what gives this dish lots of flavor. Over that goes chopped plum tomatoes, some sliced pepperoni that we've chopped, and a good amount of shredded mozzarella cheese. Now we'll bake this in a really hot oven, just long enough for the edges to get toasty and the cheese to melt. Sprinkle on some scallions, slice it with a serrated knife, and it's ready to dig into. It's sort of a cross between the best garlic bread you've ever had and an ooey-gooey pepperoni pizza. To get the recipe for our pepperoni garlic bread, simply check out our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a garlicky great way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. It's good?